So just notice, this balances the whole nervous system. Just a half a minute of this is good medicine. All right. Now that we're all tuned up like my guitar, we can start.
She's so wonderful. I would say we're done here. Let's eat. Okay. Before we actually get started, Reverend Jerry chose a special Halloween video for us to watch, and then we'll get going.
You know, I'm going to pick the wizard, but it's not a costume.
Well, welcome, everyone, to Unity in the Gold Country. I am Leslie. I am your platform assistant today. It's been a long, long time. I'm surprised how nervous I am. I'll be assisting Angelika, who will be our speaker and our musician. I want to welcome everyone who's joining us on YouTube. We're so happy that you're with us in spirit, and we know you're there. Do we have anyone who's here for the first time this Sunday? We have a welcome packet for you, so if you raise your hand, be brave. Hands up. No? Okay. Well, that's why I recognize everyone. We have our prayer chaplain this morning is Christy Stevens, and she will be available for individual prayer after the service. If you walk out of the sanctuary and turn left, and then turn left again at the hallway, it's the first door on your left. And Christy is available for that time that you may need for support, for sharing a joy that perhaps you haven't had a chance to share with someone, or just perhaps a bit of quiet. We also have prayer request forms right outside the sanctuary on the table to your right, and you can make an appointment with our healing circle if you desire. Those forms are there on the table, and you can place them in the prayer box. It's also right there on the table. So, we begin by lighting our Christ candle. With gratitude, we gather as the unique expressions of the divine presence that we are. We pause to feel into this life force that invites us to be a creative partner with it. We now allow it to fully embody within our whole being. We also sense and feel the connection that exists between each one of us, the universal web of intelligence that we partake in as the human race. As we appreciate our web of connectivity with one and all, moving from a me to a we focus, we express our desire to unite with all humanity through the energy of compassion and kindness. We invite this energy to now rise up within us while extending outward to connect with Mother Earth and all sentient beings. This uniting spirit of oneness of the one I am presence we call the Christ. We light this candle now as a reminder that we are all blessed by being part of this one presence. It is the truth, and with joy we own it. And I invite you to stand for our community song. And this will be led by Angelika. Just follow her lead.
And my lead is let the body move and sway and dance and take in those powerful words. I wrote the second part. The first part is by Ricky Byers, and I put the second part. As I think, so I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am more than I am. Again together. As I think, so I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am more than I am. All things I know will come to pass. I am beyond what does not last. Oh, for so long I've searched for meaning. I am beyond all endings and beginnings. As I think, so I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am more than I am. Let's move our bodies a little bit. As I think, so I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am more than I am. Again. As I think, so I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am more than I am. All things I know will come to pass. I am beyond what does not last. Oh, for so long I've searched for meaning. I am beyond all endings and beginnings. As I think, so I am more than I have been. I am, let's clap a little, more than I will be. I am more than I am. As I think, so I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am more than I am. And now more quiet. As I think, so I am more than I have been. I am more than I will be. I am more than I am. I am.
While you're
That fits
standing,
the-
greet your neighbor with a handshake or a hug or a namaste bow.
So, yes, because I put it on. Down after this, and then thank you. You like this one? Yeah. You too, Isabel. You have Yeah, great leader actually. Soft and strong. Yeah, soft and strong. Yeah. Please. Hi. Hi, darling. All right, I think everybody likes this part. Later, after, because right now. So let's come back to our seats. I know this is a fun part of the service. And we get to do more afterwards. Yeah, lots more. Everybody connecting. So those words of the opening song, they were really profound. More than I have been, I am. More than I will be in the future, I am. More than I am now. We're beyond what does not last. It's a powerful song. So thank you for moving. A little slow. If I hadn't had the guitar to hold on to, I would have come through and made you dance. I would. Trust me, I would. So, should I start?
Yes, we will now quietly sit with our invocation with Angelika.
So Jeff Foster shares a lot of beautiful, real human, real authentic things from his heart. And he shared this. Take a deep breath. Feel the loneliness of all living beings, of Jesus on the cross, the sorrow under the Bodhi tree, the loneliness of a dying star, the last dinosaur as it says goodbye to its broken world. Feel the exquisite loneliness of this beautiful earth, elegantly spinning in the vastness of space. Deep breath. And you can put your heart on your chest if you feel to. Really opening that heart to all the mind-boggling joys and sorrows in this world. We are that big. We can meet it all. Let your heart grow open even more than it usually is. Feel the loneliness of time itself. Never ending, never beginning. Of a universe born of innocence. Breathe into the Big Bang. Exhale a cosmos. Die and be reborn. Re-enter the world from a place of intimacy. Deep breath. Never call it loneliness again. The word does not do it justice. Friend, can you really be lonely when every living being breathes with you. In this presence, beyond presence, in this place that is no place at all, in this warm embrace I call myself. Even a no is a secret yes. Even resistance is deeply allowed. Even fear and doubt are a celebration of life. Deep breath. We never rehearsed this dance. We are a mess. We tremble and go out of tune sometimes, and forget our lines, and step on each other's toes. But it is our sacred dance. Deep breath. And exhale. Breathing into the Big Bang. Breathing in and exhaling a cosmos. Breathing out. Breathing in, die and reborn. Re-enter the world and this room from a place of intimacy. Bless you.
Staying in this space, we will now share our prayer list. And together we set the intention that as each name on our prayer list is read, that person is bathed in love and their highest good comes to them. Boy, the more names we add, the smaller it gets. I'm seeing it from your point of view now. First of all, we do pray for Lewiston, Maine, and our dear friend Sherry Rebstock, who lives there and is quite close to that community that was so affected. Kay Conway, Bo Littig, Susan Healy Harmon, Alexander DeGrasse, Jan and Cameron Court, Russell Wheeler, Walt and Sharon Watson, Jacob Peskin, Robert Keehan, Carol Ann Wilshusen, Cole Freedy, Ruth Ellen Braun, Dolly Koziris, Carol Arbini, Brian Brogren, Myra Gifford, Elizabeth Gaines, Mary Johnson, Jim Conley, Melanie Smith, Nellie, Sharon Rolfe and the Zumwald family, Eddie and Lashy Bolt, Bart Petrosine, Greg Shapazin, Ido and Efret Luft and family in Israel. And prayers, of course, for all in Israel and Palestine, Ukraine, and all suffering around the world. The conflict that we see all around us, I have to frequently remind myself that it's breaking us open so that peace can actually grow and expand, and old ways that don't serve us can be done with. For what, excuse me, for who else do we pray? If you'd like to say their names aloud.
Gabriel, Schafer, Julia Geisler, David Geisler, Peter Jung, Schafer.
And together we pray, there is only one presence and one power active in the universe and as our lives, the all-loving goodness of God, and all is well. Our daily word for today is imagination. I imagine and create my most magnificent life. Would you say that with me? I imagine and create my most magnificent life. I admire the storyteller's gift for creating fantastic worlds where impossible things happen. I immerse myself in the story, allowing myself to feel the wonder, the exhilaration, and even the sadness the storyteller's imagination has created. No matter how scary the story, there is nothing to fear. It is only a story. My imagination helps me create my life story. Guided by divine wisdom and will, I imagine a positive, meaningful life. If disturbing thoughts cloud my imagination, I remember I am God's living expression. There is nothing to fear. My spiritual gifts of faith, love, strength, and understanding join with my imagination to build the fulfilling life my heart desires. And from Joel, chapter 2, verse 28, I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. I imagine and create my most magnificent life. And staying in this beautiful space created by our invocation and our prayers, we now move to our meditation.
So I would invite you to either close your eyes or keep them open. And if you keep them open, just to choose a place in the distance to look at, but kind of a soft gaze, as if you were looking into infinity. And allow your brain, your mind, to take in all that is around you. The mind and brain can see without the eyes. And that vision goes much, much further. So remember to take nice, relaxed, and deep breaths. And then as you're either gazing softly into the distance or you have your eyes closed, whatever is comfortable for you, just notice how your mind is able to perceive what is underneath you, maybe even reach way into the earth. And it can perceive what is on the edges, on the walls, left and right of you. Maybe even go beyond this building. Nice deep breath. And allow your mind to see, to perceive and experience what is above you. The ceiling of this room, but maybe even beyond, into the blue, sunny sky outside. And perhaps even beyond that, perhaps even outside of Earth's atmosphere, into the mysterious universe. And you are floating as a star, as a point of light. Let your brain expand and see without the eyes, without any thoughts engaging, just experiencing pure awareness. Beautiful. And put a little smile on your face, knowing that you are that big, that you can be that expanded. to also expand. Wide, wide open. It also doesn't have any limits. It can reach the furthest star. And it can reach everyone connected to you all at once. Now, from that relaxed, expanded state of your awareness, allowing that heart to activate its divine power and move its energy to everyone you know, blessing them, blessing all of creation. Your heart is that powerful. Nice deep breath. And maybe we have this idea that we're in these limited little bodies. But in just 1 minute, we can expand into the whole universe. And what a miracle that is. Now imagine that from this activated heart and expanded awareness, that you take a sneak preview to the end of this lifetime. And you're walking on a path of light through a beautiful, beautiful landscape. Could be a forest or a meadow. Nice deep breath. And you look behind you at everything you have experienced. And you have the feeling of that it's complete. You are completely at ease and at peace, knowing in your heart of hearts that you have accomplished what you came here for, that you have evolved, that you were able to let all the heartaches and all the painful experiences grow you and evolve you and meet your soul's purpose. Nice deep breath. And you're smiling at your life and everyone in it. And you're smiling and grateful, especially for those hardships that have brought you to this place, this space of completion. And now you look ahead. And in the distance, as you're walking lightly with a very light and joyful heart, you are noticing a beautiful, beautiful golden light. And it's alive. It's a presence. And this presence is calling. It says it's time to come home. Home where you belong. And your heart expands even more and touches that golden light. And before you even know what happened, you and the light have merged into one another. And just allow yourself to rest from every concern, from everything you have ever thought. Just pure being. And without leaving this state ever for the rest of this life and beyond, you can play with your awareness and bring it just a little bit back into this room, But just know, this was not just a meditation. This is what is possible. This is who we are. So know that you can go there anytime, be there anytime, be that anytime. That's how powerful your mind and heart is. Deep breath. And I will now share a song with you that a friend of mine wrote recently, and she gave me permission to share it. It's so beautiful. Her name is Colleen Akiko, and the song is called One Awakening. Awakening in the silence unfolding, one awakening as awareness is growing. A broken heart my eyes can finally see, one awakening, I'm one awakening and free. One awakening from a dream I'm forgetting, one awakening in a sunrise of blessing, streaming through a ray of truth to healing in my soul. One awakening, I'm one awakening and whole. One awakening into light beyond measure, one awakening with creation together, now beholding nothing, being infinitely all. One awakening, I'm one awakening as love. Now beholding nothing, being infinitely all. One awakening, I'm one awakening as
Greetings, everyone.
Thank you. And
Dr. Joe here.
Oops.
I wanted to take a
Dr. Joe's spirit is sneaking into the party. That's what happens when you have so many buttons to push, and you once in a while forget to push one. I just find it all very humorous these days. The whole, as Jeff Foster says, the whole mess. It's just so humorous. And all the things that can go on here. It's so. My talk today. Oh gosh, time flies. I guess we started late, so I might go over a little bit. So I was asked to speak about your study book and part 2 of it. It's called Transitions by William Bridges. And it's titled The Transition Process, Itself, and Endings. And therefore the invocation and the meditation and the songs were chosen to fit that subject very much. And, you know, I looked at the word transitions and I realized trans means to go beyond or across. So we're going from one state to another, from one situation to another. But many people have changed houses, changed jobs, changed relationships hundreds of times. But wherever they go, there they are. So maybe they were looking for the internal change, the evolving that can come with initiations, with change. But they thought it could be accomplished through the outer situation. But that is not how it works usually. It often, the biggest transformations and growth in my life has come through the biggest tragedies. What I thought at the time were tragedies. So one more button. So the author, William Bridges, starts out in this chapter with describing the initiation of a young indigenous man who was going through an initiation, what he might have felt, being removed from his tribe for the first time, being isolated, feeling completely, utterly disconnected and alone, and undergoing some real hardships, you know, some whatever, body piercings and whatever he might have had to endure, maybe fasting, maybe no water. And, you know, we are also reminded in this story of Jesus in the desert, 40 days in the desert, when he removed himself completely from everything he knew, and he faced whatever he needed to face, and the hardships, and it changed. Those kinds of things change us, but they are rarely voluntary. And I argued with them. Now, who in this room has ever argued with life situations? I guess we don't need a show of hands. Your laughter is telling. Argued with them, and they were really, really hard, and you thought maybe even you felt you couldn't survive it. It was too difficult. But then later they turned into incredible growth, evolution, and blessings. Whoever had that experience? All right, well, me too, many times. Because I did these kinds of things. One time really a huge change, but I did that voluntarily. And it was, I moved from Germany to Alaska when I was in my 20s, and I left a career I had barely started as a teacher, and I moved to the Alaskan wilderness, and I literally left everything I knew behind. Well, why did I choose to do that? My spirit must have known, my soul knew that I couldn't have evolved to the place I needed to evolve if I had stayed in the German box. And believe me, the German box was, to me, just to me, they're beautiful people, but to me it was like a straitjacket. I could not stand the fences and the walls, and I just had to get out of there. I didn't care what it cost me. I didn't know what was gonna come. Well, then in Alaska, I found a beautiful, beautiful man, a beautiful partner. We were together for a year, and we were both flying hang gliders and airplanes. And what does he do? Well, he crashes right in front of me and dies. So did I choose that one? No, I didn't. And I felt shocked to the core. But I know that if I had stayed in that situation, it would have been nice. But again, it wouldn't have brought me to where I am now. And now I realize, for the first time in my life, totally, this is where I belong, this to myself, home in myself. This is what I'm meant to do. I found my purpose and my direction and everything through a lot of weavings and struggles. Goodness, it was really a crazy journey. But who cares? I have a friend whose husband recently passed away, and very shocking. She's a younger woman and has 4 children, and he was the breadwinner, so it seems like a huge disaster. But she argued with life very, very much. But I have a sneaky suspicion that somehow life will take care of her and bring her to where she needs to be. But I can't tell her that right now. Right now, all I do is emergency work, calming down her nervous system enough so that she can function and do what needs to be done, taken care of. So sometimes when we're in the middle of the throes of these transitions, we are so raw and so vulnerable. And besides, it actually reminds us when we're separated from loved ones or from our health or from our society or from our work that we loved. When we're separated, it triggers the deepest, deepest core of our wounding of separation, doesn't it? And that is why these things are so hard. And on top of that, we have a nervous system that goes into stress. We were designed to be able to run from a tiger or a dinosaur. And after 20 minutes of high-powered, high-up fight, flight, it was supposed to calm down. Well, in modern man, no, it doesn't work that way. Our nervous system doesn't calm down. And we get literally into this reaction of running from the tiger even over little things, And it's not our fault. It's just the way our nervous system works. So I am always looking for hacks. And I'm more and more successful to find the right tools, how we can work with that. So it can be done. We're learning as a society more and more how we can actually shift those stress states, regulate our nervous system, and go back to calmness. Because if we're calm and in our natural state, we can handle anything, And then the Buddha's teachings, on top of that, that's the wisdom. So the nervous system is more somatic, it's body-oriented. And then there's the wisdom of the Buddha. And the Buddha said, this world intrinsically is unsatisfactory. Everything here comes and goes. You cannot count on anything in this world staying the same. Not our bodies, not people, not jobs, nothing. Everything is revolving. It's like revolving doors. But when we accept that and not push away what we don't want and keep craving what we think makes us happy, we can actually live in peace. That's why I chose that song, and I wrote that other part, where nothing lasts here. But I am beyond endings and beginnings. And that is the author's point in this book. He is bringing the medicine to our deep grief and distress when we have these transitions and these losses. And I know I'm supposed to follow this book a little bit more, and I'm going to do my best. But I'll give you the big secret before. So the big secret for me has been, and let's make a mental note on this, if we can really be in gratitude for everything and every moment, no matter what, it completely changes everything. Then we get the confidence out of gratitude, even gratitude for what we've had. If we've lost it, let's be grateful for what we've had. And let's know that we're going to get even something better. We're going to experience something better. So William Bridges points out at the end that we have it all backwards. The ending is not the last chapter in the play. It's the first one, because it leads to a new chapter in the play, a new beginning. So I gave you the very beautiful secret ahead of time so we can look at the dis words. But Bridges also points out that those rituals of passage in the indigenous societies were simply a way of focusing and making more visible the natural pattern of life, which is dying, chaos, and renewal. And he also pointed out that an anthropologist, it was Genep was his name. He identified 3 phases: separation, transition, and incorporation of the new. And I'm sure we can find all of that. So when we are between the old and the new, we're kind of going through a symbolic death. It's really a symbolic death. It can be experienced quite raw, quite severe. And sometimes people are in just stress survival mode. They barely are able to breathe through it. It can feel that life-threatening. And believe me, I've been there. So I understand. But I was always willing to move through it. I knew somehow deep down there must be more to the story than all these distressing losses. It sucks, you know? It really does. Let's face it, it just does. We lose everything we love. So that's why we need to look further, deeper, more. And I love to learn from nature. So recently I was in the South Yuba River Canyon, and I meditated on the incredible beauty that was in that canyon. And how was it made? Goodness, can you imagine the forces of nature that have sculpted every single one of those rocks and made this incredible river where people from all over the world come to because it's one of the most scenic places? Well, it's the same with us. All kinds of forces of nature forge us. And I know what comes out of it is something more and more beautiful. So, and during COVID, we went through a symbolic death. We lost a sense of security, certainty. We had to deal with all kinds of unprecedented stresses. And we also had to come closer to terms with sickness and death. Now, I took up way too much time in this life with endings and a neutral zone. But I always say it's better late than never. So I'm very, very grateful that my perspective and attitude has changed. And I'm having so much fun. Almost all the time. It used to be I had 20% fun and 80% I suffered. It actually totally changed. It's at least 80% fun and yes, saying yes to life and celebrating life, and 20% maybe there's some glitches. That's all right, I guess if there was no glitches, I'd be leaving. So, oh goodness. So I wrote a poem, and I call it Sacred Wave. I am riding such a sacred wave that I am letting go of the surfboard. The ocean knows what the wave needs: to crash into shore, spend all its energy, and return again as water. And that's us. We return again as the purity. Once our wave energy has crashed into the shore enough, we return again to what we really are in essence. So let's quickly cover the dis words. Disengagement, which is when we're actually leaving what was familiar. Then there's dismantling. We're actually kind of letting go of that. And I can recommend a movie that I've seen that's really beautiful. It's called Rewilding Kernwood, and it's a follow-up for Arctic Daughter. And they're actually dismantling consciously their lifestyle and a homestead that they built. And they're dismantling it all consciously and dealing with it consciously. It's very, very beautiful. And then there's the Truman Show, which you probably all know. Now that is a really amazing one, where he steps out of the only world he ever knew, and he takes that risk. And he knows there must be more for him out there, once he knows. So that's the disengagement, dismantling. Then there is disidentification. So when we actually are realizing we're no longer a part of that older situation, we're just kind of like, what am I now, right? And then there's disorientation that comes out of that, because then we go, well, I'm no longer that, but I'm also not in the new. Where am I? It's kind of, you feel like a ship lost in the ocean without a sail, without a rudder, without wind. And that's, we sometimes feel that that's permanent, but it isn't. It's a transition phase, and it belongs to the process. And then, disorientation, it's meaningful, the author says in the book, but it's not enjoyable. And we don't have to sugarcoat it. It's a time of confusion, that's just what it is. And we fear this emptiness very much because it reminds us of death and abandonment. That's why we fear it. Anything that reminds us of that so much. So how about from now on, we're going to consciously make friends with those elements because they belong to life. And as long as we have split life apart into, birth, death, and, separation and oneness, no, let's bring it all together. Jeff Foster has great material on that, how to bring it all together in our sacred heart. That's where it can all live. It has permission to be there, all of it, because we're here anyway. So what does all the struggle, what does it do? Nothing, just takes our energy, right? So I could have avoided a lot of suffering, but it did bring me to a place and space where I can actually not do that anymore. So yes, awesome. So how about you guys? Is it a little better? Have you made some progress in that department? Yes? Excellent, wonderful. So I want to end with a quote I've shared with you before. It's from an Indian master, Sri Bhagavan. And he says, acceptance is letting everything come. Forgiveness is letting everything go. Love is letting everything be. Wisdom is letting all things arise, flourish, and release naturally. Awareness is restful attentiveness. Let's take a deep breath together. Whoa, that was a lot. But my goal is to make it a transmission rather than just head learning. I want to bring us all together into that space where we're taking it in a deeper way, with our deep spirit, our deep heart, our soul. Bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, my beautiful friend. Mission accomplished.
I love working with Leslie. She has such great energy. She's one of our angels.
It is time for our love offering, and I've belabored this before, but I've always been so grateful we don't call it a collection. We call it a love offering. And I invite you to consciously remember that this is a flow that you're choosing to be a part of. It's like a room will get stuffy if the windows aren't open. But if they're open, things flow. You get more fresh air. And that's what our prosperity is as well. We are in a flow.
Well said.
So prepare your offerings. If you're giving with someone, you may want to hold hands, or by yourself, hold it over your heart. And I invite you to say the blessing with me. Prosperity flows to us and through us in unending streams of plenty. The inexhaustible resource of spirit is equal to every demand, and so it is.
If everything I think I am just comes and goes, how I thought life should be turns out to be false. Beyond the changing faces, what remains? Who am I who is asking? What does not change? Is it all simply love? Is it all love divine? Is it all simply love? Is it all love divine? In life's play, I'm simply a part of the flow, and love is unfolding as love only knows. I pray for the grace to see love's perfect play in all that arises as part of me. Is it all simply love? Is it all simply love? Is it all simply love? Is it all love divine? Love That was a song I forgot to tell you before. I call it Simply Love, and I wrote it in 2015 at home. Thanks.
I invite us to bless these offerings by giving all of these gifts our gratitude. Again, it opens that flow so that as we give, we are saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. We bless this to unity in the Gold Country and to the community and to the world. All right, folks. It's birthday Sunday, and oftentimes Jerry has a list of the October birthdays or whatever the month is so that he can actually nail people and make sure they come up. I don't have that, so honor system people, if you're October, I expect you up here, please. She's saying very nicely.
I'm October too.
Are you?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Those Libras.
No, I'm February. Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear beloveds. Happy birthday to you. And so many more blessed years, happy years, joyful years.
God is blessing you now.
God is blessing you now. God is blessing. I don't know the words. Blessing you now. Those are the most important lines.
Thank you, beautiful
God is
Octobers.
blessing you forever. God is blessing you now. If you don't remember them, we make them up. That's my policy.
All righty, I'm going to get through these announcements as concisely as I can so we can move on to lunch. To the celebration of life. I should have said that, not lunch. Your voice matters. We're asking for your thoughts and suggestions for our next roundtable discussions, which is scheduled for November 19th. So there's At the back table, there's a box with a slot on the top. There's blank paper for you to write down things that are your ideas, your suggestions. I'm not inviting complaints, but, you know, we'll see what we get. New Member Sunday is coming up. There will be an orientation on Saturday, November 18th, and then the new member welcome is on Sunday, November 19th. If you haven't already, please submit either the blue forms at the back of the sanctuary or the new member applications. We also have them online. So you're welcome to submit it either way, but make sure I get it before, you know, then. Grab your calendars. This is going to be a busy Sunday, the 19th. We'll be welcoming our new members. We will be celebrating the end of our 7-week fall program with a potluck, and we will be holding our roundtable discussions. So it'll be busy, but we really don't want anyone to miss it. And it will be set up like today is set up. Energy healing clinics. We have a new practitioner added to the modalities, hypnotherapy. So there are additional slots available on Sunday, November 12th. See Christy at the back. Oh, is that you? Oh, would you stand up? And I'm so glad that you're going to be joining our troops. Thank you, our healing troops. There's a better word, I'm sure. Team. Christy or Peter or Mary, I think, will be available if you want to talk to either one of them at the back of the sanctuary at the end of the service to sign up for the healing clinic on November 12th. Sessions at 2, 3, and 4 p.m. The Way of Mastery is starting, the evening Way of Mastery is starting up again on November 20th. It'll be from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And we have received more books. They are in the bookstore. And that's being facilitated by Catherine Beatty and Sandy Spurgeon, and I think Scott Wetzel. Yeah. Dream classes will continue on the first and third Thursday of each month at 10 to 11:30 a.m. with Dr. Nancy Chanderay. And I want to thank our volunteers and participants. Reverend Angelika Schafer, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Me.
Yay, Leslie.
My nervousness is gone.
We did a good job.
Our greeters, Harry and Karen Wyatt. Our ushers, Di Connell and Larry Homan. Our chaplain, Christy Stevens, and again, available after the service for individual prayer. I love this applause. In fact, pause.
See, we got them all in a good mood.
Yeah. Hospitality, Lita Stone and Patricia Leviton, I think, but there's been a lot of activity back there. I could name all of them almost. Anne, Marlene, Sydney, Lita, a lot of hands this morning. Sound is Ed Dennis. PowerPoint live stream, extraordinaire Kelly Garmeyer. Our bookstore is Rosie Doherty. Where is she? She might have left already. And our altar was by Catherine Beatty. And I want to thank you. It's always such a profound experience being platform assistant because the flow of energetic love, it's not one direction. In fact, it's kind of swirling and including all of us. And it's a blessing. So I thank you also for being here today. Thank you.
And I just also wanted to thank Joe and Lynn, Reverend Joe and Lynn, who are the founders of this unity.
That's
and
right.
He discovered me when I was still shaking every time I was singing in front of people. But he said, it's going to be all right. So he really helped me to do what I'm doing today, and I'm always really grateful. Thank you.
I will coattail on that, the power of Joe. He started asking me to be platform assistant when we were, oh, Jerry's going, wrap it up, Leslie. Let's say our unity prayer together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, because I am, and all is well. Amen. Would you like to stand for our closing song?
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us, that can't be undone. We choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One loving family, sharing one son. Choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because we choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made